Hello everyone, in this video I'll be ranking the strategists in Marvel Rivals on a tier list. So having healers and support is extremely important. It makes the game a whole lot easier. Typically you want to have 2 to 3 as that's going to be the most optimal way to play. But I'll be breaking down all the heroes because I think there's a lot of really great strategists, but there's also some that just I don't think have the same abilities as some of the others. So the first one I'll be focusing on is Cloak and Dagger. Now Cloak and Dagger is very good. The thing with Cloak and Dagger is they have auto aim on their attacks, so you can heal your team from far away, making them a very nice ranged healer. What's also nice is you can see this little ring here, so whenever you hit a target that you're healing, you can actually heal yourself within this ring, so you can provide yourself with sustainable healing as well as a good amount of damage. You want to go into cloak form whenever you're doing damage because with Cloak and Dagger, her daggers don't really do a lot. It takes a lot to be able to take someone out. You can see here, whenever you're hitting someone with the daggers, it's going to cause a area of effect heal. So we're taking damage here now, but we can also heal ourselves with this. So that's the nice thing about Cloak and Dagger. She also has the bubble here, which can provide sustainable heals over time. And then also this wall, which can boost the overall healing that you'll be taking. So extremely powerful heals. She actually has some of the best burst healing in the game, but also has really nice damage with Cloak. And you can actually out damage a Scarlet Witch. And he also has the Terror Cloak here, which can create invisibility or make it so that you don't get seen because it makes it hard for the target that got hit with that to see. And you can also hide yourself from certain ults by using this Terror Cloak here to be able to hide away. So a lot of skills all within the Cloak and Dagger skill set here. So I think that Cloak and Dagger is easily an S tier choice. They also have a very useful ult with this here being able to apply damage over time as well as healing in the zone. It does about 220 healing per second, so if you have 2 of these overlapped, it's incredible amounts of healing. So good healing, good damage output. Cloak and Dagger is easily an S tier choice, so I'm just going to put them up here. They're not the best healer, but for new players, the auto aim is everything because it just means that you're going to be healing even when, if you're playing someone like Luna and missing a bunch, your targets aren't getting healed and they're going to go down. But Cloak and Dagger, you don't have to worry about that, and you get this nice heal in an area of effect, so extremely useful. Now we're getting into Invisible Woman. So Invisible Woman can actually heal through targets and can also harm through targets too. So you can see here we're able to heal through them, and then we can go behind and also deal damage while keeping them topped up. You can also apply the shield, which will give a heal over time as well, and it also blocks damage. You can see the amount of damage that's blocking in the middle of the screen here. So you can also put it away if you want to charge it back up. As you can see, there's a little indicator down the bottom right beside my head here, and that will heal back. It'll go back up over time. So Invisible Woman also has a really nice ult because you can pop this down and turn invisible. So yeah, it's really good. You can also line up your shots while you're in the invisibility zone. The damage range is about 20 meters. The damage isn't very high, but the fact that you can pierce through and hit multiple targets while also healing someone is extremely effective. So you can just go behind someone, take out the enemy while keeping your teammates alive, and also provide a shield for them. You also have a really nice push attack, which you can use the push attack to knock people off of ledges. You can also get creative with Doctor Strange portals and portal people off of the ledge. There's so many crazy things you can do with this. And you also have this ball here that you can shoot, and I see a lot of people shooting it at the ground, but it's actually probably best to shoot that up in the air and then use the ability again to create a big ball in the air. So I'll show off what that looks like in just a second here, but yeah, she's got a really great kit. So you can see there we hit it in a much larger area and it'll pull people in towards it. So yeah, Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, is very good. She is also very likely a S tier pick. I would have to say, yeah, I'm going to put her up in the S tier. I think Cloak and Dagger is a little bit better. She also turns invisible, and you can double jump to turn yourself invisible, and it has a cooldown of 6 seconds. When you're invisible, they can't see you. You will turn invisible again if you get damaged, so just be mindful of that. You can turn back visible, and that's obviously not ideal, but you can also bounce away. If you're getting hit by someone like Scarlet Witch, you can actually do the push attack, push them away, and then do the double jump to get away. So yeah, Invisible Woman is really good. Next, we got ourselves Jeff the Land Shark. When the game first came out, everyone said Jeff the Land Shark was the best healer. That's probably due to the hype that his ultimate got. He's got healing that can pierce through targets, which is nice. It's just not very high healing. You also have these bubbles which you can pop down, which will provide extra healing as well as increased movement speed. So that's pretty nice because you can move around a little bit quicker. You also got good mobility by getting down. You have a small hitbox. Your head is really large as Jeff the Land Shark, so you can get hit with headshots quite frequently, but you're obliviously cute, so you take less damage from headshots. Now the big thing is with Jeff is his ultimate. The ultimate, you go in and you eat people. You can eat your team to heal them. You can also eat the enemies and then take them off of a ledge and spit them out. But while they're inside you, they're also taking damage, so that's nice as well. But with this, it's a good ult because it can be a game winner. If you have everyone on the point, you can actually win a lot of your competitive games if you have Jeff, just because being able to take everyone off and throw them off a ledge just means pretty much an immediate win. So in that essence, it's good. But Jeff the Land Shark just suffers in terms of the amount of healing. People typically go out after Jeff, so you have to be dodging away a lot, and that means you're just not going to be healing, versus someone like Luna or even Cloak and Dagger who can be offensive and keep people away. So yeah, as Jeff, expect yourself to get jumped often, and you're going to want to use your ultimate to try and clear out as many people as possible. Jeff also has a nice team up with Luna where he'll deal a little bit extra cold damage, which is nice. But yeah, I think that Jeff is not as good as some of the other heroes. Previously, people thought he was extremely powerful, but I would have to say that Jeff's probably in the B tier. The heals are nice because they pierce. It's just not fast enough healing. You got to refresh it there as well, which is fine. You also got the attack, which uses, you can reload both of these at the same time, which is quite nice. But I find a lot of people play Jeff and just go around attacking with him, which is not the best way to play as Jeff. You want to be supporting your team, and I just think that there's better healers for that role, like Loki. So we're getting into Loki here, who is the trickster god. Now what's cool is Loki can actually apply clones here, which will also heal and deal damage to the enemies. And what's nice about this is you can get pretty tricky with it. So you can run around. If you get jumped, then you can swap positions with one of your clones. It'll drop yourself as a clone, and then you can pop up more clones as well. You can only have 2 clones at a time, so just be mindful of that. They almost act like a turret, so you want to be using this to set up in defensive positions. You can also just use your right click to drop another clone and move around hidden, and then you can go about that. So Loki is nice if you have 200 IQ plays. If you're just going to play as a hero that you don't want to think about, Cloak and Dagger is much better. Loki's for those that want to strategize for real. But he is extremely strong in the right hands. He also has this rune, which you can make it so that any damage actually heals you. They have to destroy the runes on top of it, and people are starting to get a little smarter to do that. But yeah, his damage output's really good. Yeah, everything about Loki's kit's solid. He can also shapeshift and steal someone's abilities, which is cool. I would always recommend going with like Luna Snow's ability or Mantis or even Invisible Woman, because even Cloak and Dagger, those are probably the best 4 to copy. You can also go with an Iron Man ult, because that's just going to be a nice delete button, or Scarlet Witches if you're really good at landing it. But I would highly recommend as Loki to just grab another healer for their ultimate, because yeah, if you have a Luna on your team, that's the best ultimate to take. Luna's ult's the best in the game, so having a second one of those is extremely useful. So yeah, Loki does require a lot of thought though, so that's just one thing about him. I'd have to put him in the A tier. In the hands of a very skilled player, definitely an S tier choice, but yeah, for the average person, he's probably somewhere around the A tier. Now, Luna Snow, probably the best strategist in the game, let's be honest with this. You do have to land your shots. You can also headshot with Luna Snow. Her heals are great. She can apply a snowflake, which will heal another target. So let's say they're both taking damage here. We can actually heal both of them just by healing one of them. And that target will take 30% extra heals as well, which is huge. So really good for sustaining, keeping the whole team alive. You do have to think a little bit with Luna Snow, but she's got really fast movement speed. If you move for less than a second, you get this fast speed and you can skate around moving so much quicker, and you get a big jump with that, allowing you to get to positions that you may not normally be able to hit. She also has this shift attack, which will provide heal over time. And with this, you can also deal damage through targets, and you can also heal your team through targets. So that's really good. You also have this freeze ability, which will heal you a bit too. So Luna's got a lot of nice abilities going on. Not to mention, I am ready to put on a show. And you can swap this back every half second. You used to be able to do it a lot faster, but with this, you can buff their damage or give them extra heals. It's just really good. So best ultimate in the game, because for that, if you have the heals on, no one's dying. If you stay on the position, you're holding that position. So that can be really good. Also, you kind of have the piercing attacks, kind of like Invisible Woman whenever you use that ability. So really good kit. Luna Snow's got really good damage as well. She's almost like a duelist at the same time, which is kind of crazy. But as long as you're hitting headshots, you're going to do a ton of damage. And yeah, great ultimate. So I'd have to say Luna Snow is S tier, probably the best strategist in the game. Next, we got ourselves Mantis, who actually got a bit of a nerf last season. Mantis can buff damage by 12%, and she'll also regenerate her heals on critical hits. So if you buff yourself, buff everyone, heal them all up. We're all out of heals, as you can see underneath the reticule there. And as we get headshots, we're able to build them back up so that you can heal them. And you also heal yourself whenever you apply heals to a target, so you can stay full of health yourself. But with Mantis, she's actually a really good counter to Loki, because you can headshot off of the Loki clones, get your heals back, as her resource is a little bit more limited than others, and that's something that you've got to manage while playing her. But she can pretty much 3-shot headshot most targets, which is awesome. These Galactobots have really big heads, so it's a little bit easier for us to land them. But you can see there, she's able to take out targets really quickly. So boom, 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 3 shots, they're downed. And it's 2 shots to take out a Bruce Banner, which is pretty crazy. Also, her ultimate will increase movement speed, and it's similar to Luna's. It doesn't last as long, but it's going to provide heals in a larger area, and it gives a movement speed buff, and she can attack while doing it. She did get a reduction to her overall movement speed. Mantis used to be probably... People said that Mantis was the best healer. I still think Luna Snow's probably a little bit better. But yeah, Mantis is also another S-tier hero for as far as healing goes. She can also buff herself. She can sleep bomb. So you can put someone to sleep to keep them from fighting you. And it's a bit more forgiving than Luna Snow's, which the freeze, you have to land it on the target. Whereas the sleep bomb for a Mantis, you can just kind of throw it nearby. Buffing your own damage is pretty good though too. I think that that's a very effective way to go about playing her. But you can sleep them there. Their team has to shoot the Mantis that's behind her there. So yeah, Mantis is a very interesting character to play. And for that, I'd have to say that Mantis is another S tier. I'd probably put Luna Snow, Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman. Strategists are very strong in this game. I'll be honest. The way to win is actually to just have strategists use their ultimate. Like, if you can't take any damage, the enemies can't take you out. But next we got ourselves Adam Warlock. I love Adam Warlock. I think he deserves better. He can do this to a target. You can go boom, delete them in a second. You do have to get kind of lucky that the target doesn't move around, because you're right. If you right click, this attack here is a projectile, and then the left click is actually a hit scan weapon, so it hits immediately as you press it, whereas that takes a second to deliver. Now you can also alternate between your left and right fire, because it'll actually animation cancel if you go right click, left click. So there's actually some pretty cool ways to maximize his damage. I like to charge it up to do the full burst and then follow it up with another burst. His damage is really good, but his healing, he only has 2 heals and the soul bond, which it's a little bit concerning, because with soul bond you have to have everyone nearby, and whenever they're soul bonded, they will take damage equally. So if I take some damage, it means others will take damage, but we also heal while we have soul bond on. So that is a nice little thing, but I would recommend saving that for your ultimate, because with your ultimate you can revive everyone. So let's see, our team goes down here, and oh no, they went down. Born again. You can just bring them back. So that's a nice thing, but the problem is they only get revived with 100 health. So if there's a if there's a Winter Soldier going again, you're born again, gets deleted. So yeah, that's just another thing you got to keep in mind. Always keep your soul bond for whenever there's going to be a ultimate going off, and save your heals too if you can, because you only have 2 snaps. They do heal quite good, however it's just not enough compared to some of the other healers. I love playing Adam Warlock. Being able to revive is extremely useful. You can also self-revive yourself, which is awesome. And yeah, he's got some cool kit, a really cool kit. I'm disappointed that he can't fly, or he has no mobility, because his whole thing is being mobile. If you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he flies around a bunch. So it just feels like he's just missing something. And for that, I like Adam Warlock, but I feel like he's just lacking in terms of something. So I'd probably have to put him probably top of the B tier. I like Adam Warlock, great damage. He's just missing something from his kit that other heroes just have, like better heals, better trickery, which can also kind of be applied to them. But next we got ourselves Rocket. Also, he has a really, I guess one last point, he has a good team up with Mantis, because you can get the revive on Mantis as well, and Star-Lord, so that really does buff him up quite a bit. But finally we got everybody's favorite heal bot, Rocket Raccoon, who's got these attacks that can bounce around, so you can just launch your heals around. They bounce around, they slow down when they're near someone that needs healing, and his healing is pretty consistent. You also have this revive kit, which is nice, so you can pop that down. It'll create little armor packs that give you an extra 25 health, and with this there's also one that'll give you a jump boost, so pretty effective. It'll also revive someone, so that's another big benefit of that, is he's got a little revive going. He also has his damage booster, the C up, so it can really buff up his damage. Now Rocket's damage is actually pretty crazy, I'll be honest. It's a projectile weapon, so it moves slowly. If you land headshots, you can see there, it just deletes people real quick. That was with the damage buff, but even still, without the damage buff, if you're landing headshots, it can be really good. Up close, if you don't land headshots, it does take a little bit longer, but with Rocket, you're probably best to not heal as much, or not to damage as much. You want to, it's silly to say, but you kind of want to heal bot as Rocket. So he also has this dash. He got a jetpack to slowly descend down. He can climb up walls. Rocket's definitely the hardest to kill. With Jeff the Land Shark, the thing is with Jeff, he can, Jeff's got the ability to climb up walls and stuff too, but he's got a larger hitbox, and it just feels like with Rocket, he's much easier to survive with. So I think Rocket's really great. His ultimate, though, is really a big letdown for a few reasons. So as I mentioned, having a defensive ult is typically best because it's going to keep your team alive and on the position without going down. So his ult, it just boosts damage, which is really good. It's a huge boost to the damage. However, that doesn't really equate to as much, because whenever you have that up, you're still going to have to heal your team because otherwise they'll go down. So you can't really take advantage of the extra damage yourself. Not that you should. The gun's kind of weak in comparison to some others. But the big problem with Rocket is, compared to the others, it's just not defensive enough to keep everyone alive. So he does have a revive, which is great. Like this is super useful for the revive that it gives. But the problem is he just doesn't have the same damage output as other heroes. So you can see here, one of them is going to get revived by this. Awesome. And then it destroys that. So Rocket's really good in varieties of situations. His team up with Winter Soldier and Punisher is what makes him really good, though. So if you're playing with Winter Soldier or Punisher, you can pop down an ammo thing that'll give them pretty much infinite ammo. Well, it gives them infinite ammo. So whenever you're going with that, you'll be able to, if you're playing alongside them, they get to attack really quickly. So you can see here, I'll play as Winter Soldier, get Rocket to throw that down. My gun gets unlimited ammo from the 3 rounds, and it shoots faster. So this makes Winter Soldier crazy. It also makes Punisher really crazy too. This isn't a tier list for duelists, but it just goes to show normal shots and then the upgraded shots. You see it melts. It also makes his shotgun really crazy too. So at close range, yeah, it just does a whole lot of good for both of these heroes. So yeah, I would have to say that Rocket is one of the most interesting characters, because his heals are so good, but he's just lacking in terms of other things. That's why I can't put him up into the S tier. I'd have to say that Rocket is another A tier choice, somewhere around there. So there it is, the final tier list. I would have to say, though, Strategists as a whole are really strong. That's why we have 4 of them in the S tier. All 4 of those also have defensive ults. They all have the ability to heal your team and keep them alive. So if you're looking for the best pick for strategist, support, healer, whatever you want to call the position, those top 4 are your best choices. So let me know what you found most useful in this video. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.